everybody, my name is Darryl One and I'm music director of the Victoria Symphony Orchestra, and I'm here to give you a preview of our upcoming 2018-2019 season, which will be opening just in this next week or so. And we've got a great lineup for you. I call this season Music for All Time. And I say for all time because I think the programs that we're going to be doing and the pieces we'll be performing are the kind of pieces that will appeal to everybody. And we made real special efforts this season especially to make it so that you'll all be wanting to come to every single one of these concerts. And so as you can see right here, this is the stack of music that we're going to be doing, these orchestra scores here. And we're going to be having a lot of special guests, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about each one. But before I do that, I thought it was appropriate that we have this wonderful front page story on the Victoria Symphony that I think maybe some of you might have read. And as you can see, we have some interesting guest artists that are performing with us, but it's wonderful to have that. And also this terrific editorial about the Victoria Symphony deserving a standing ovation. And we're really thankful for the Victoria Advocates editorial, and we certainly hope all of you feel the same way about the orchestra. I am certainly proud of my tenure with the orchestra and all the things that we've done and all the things we're going to continue to do to try to make the Victoria Symphony Orchestra the best orchestra that we can, maybe the best orchestra in Southern Texas, certainly make it an orchestra that you can all be proud of. So let's talk a little bit about the programs. Our first program is with a group that I think some of you are familiar with, Cirque de la Symphonie. And they are like a Cirque du Soleil with strongmen and acrobats and aerial artists and jugglers. And they perform along with the orchestra. And the orchestra plays wonderful classical music behind it. But this time, instead of just classical music, the orchestra is going to be playing music from the movies. That's why it's called Cirque Goes to the Movies. And we're going to be performing scores by famous movie composers. And of course, the most well-known is probably John Williams. And we're going to be performing a bunch of his things. We're performing this Hooray for Hollywood. We're performing the Devil's Dance from the The Witches of Eastwick. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone we're going to be performing. That's also from John Williams. The Flight to Neverland, the Peter Pan one, is also John Williams. We're playing his Overture to the Cowboys, the old movie. We're going to play the Raiders March from Raiders of the Lost Ark. All of these are John Williams scores. But in addition to John Williams scores, we're going to be playing music from Chicago, West Side Story, New York, New York, Pirates of the Caribbean, and we're also going to be playing a few classical tunes that were part of movies. The famous Flight of the Bumblebee, and also this says theme from 10, but you know it probably as Ravel's Bolero, and we'll be performing that. All to these aerial artists in our first concert on coming up this in 2 weeks. So I hope that you'll be there to kick off the season with us. The second concert is called the Star Spangled Salute, and it's all American music. Well, almost all American music. We're going to be performing again some John Williams, but this is Liberty Fanfare. It's actually an orchestral piece that he wrote to start things out. And then we're going to be moving to a favorite composer of mine, Samuel Barber's second essay for orchestra. Samuel Barber was a neo-romantic composer, so even though he's a 20th century composer, his music is highly romantic, and he's one of my most favorite composers. We'll be performing another B, following Barber, but this is the only piece that's not an American piece. It's Giovanni Bottesini's Concerto No. 2 in B minor for double bass and orchestra. This will be the first time in my tenure here with the Victoria Symphony Orchestra that we'll be performing a bass concerto. And we have a wonderful young artist, Xander Foley, who's going to be performing with us. And we're also going to be having an interesting art surprise with us as well, which we'll let you know more about later. After that, we're going to be performing a fanfare by American composer Joan Tower, female composer, and we're playing a fanfare of hers. It's called Fanfare for the Uncommon Woman. So for all of you who are interested in female composers, we're going to be playing her piece. Then we're going to do variations on the patriotic tune America that was written by Charles Ives for organ, but was recast for orchestra by American composer William Schumann. It's a really fun arrangement of it. And then finally we do a favorite of many, Aaron Copland, who is known for his pieces that really encapsulate America. This is his 4 dance episodes from Rodeo, or Rodeo, however you want to put it. And it has the famous hoedown at the very end, which was made famous by that beef commercial. So we'll be performing that for our Star-Spangled Salute. After that, we have our annual Pops concert, and we'll be featuring Neil McCoy, who has had 34 hit singles. He's had 2 albums that were gone country platinum. He had 2 back-to-back singles that were #1 on the country charts, and he'll be coming to bring his artistry with us and with the orchestra. On the 4th concert, we're going to be going to what we call the greatest orchestral hits. Many of these, probably all of these pieces, are pieces that you will recognize. We're playing the William Tell Overture by Rossini. And for those of you who don't know by the title, if I said it was the Lone Ranger theme, you'd probably know right away. We're also going to be performing Strauss's Blue Danube Waltz, which many of you will probably recognize, that wonderful melody. Da dee da da dum, lum bum bum bum, dee da 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 dum. It's a beautiful waltz, as are all of Strauss's waltzes. We'll be performing that. And we're also going to be performing Peter Tchaikovsky's Romeo and Juliet Fantasy Overture, probably one of his most popular pieces. But the big thing that's kind of interesting about it, this program, is that we're going to be performing the Saint-Saëns Cello Concerto, which by itself doesn't sound all that interesting to those of you who are thinking greatest hits, because this is probably not the greatest cello concerto, but it is one of the most popular. But it's the performer who's going to be performing it, and that's what I showed you earlier on this page. This is Tina Guo, and she is going to be performing the Saint-Saëns. And as some of you probably read, Tina has played with some of the greatest popular artists. She's played with Josh Groban. She's done soundtracks for Game of Thrones. She's especially well known for that famous tune on the electric cello for the Wonder Woman movie that came out with Gal Gadot. So she's going to be here performing. I don't think she's playing on that cello, but she will be performing the Saint-Saëns Cello Concerto with us, and it'll be wonderful to have her. Finally, we come to the last concert, and that is our annual concert. We have our Van Cliburn winner, and we have Kenny Broberg, who attended the University of Houston. He was a silver medalist of this past Van Cliburn competition, and he's going to be performing the Prokofiev Third Piano Concerto, which is one of my favorites. We were going to do a different one, but he actually requested this one, and it's a wonderful tour de force. It's one of the most pyrotechnic piano concertos. So we'll be doing that, playing an overture by an American composer named David Diamond. It's his overture to Romeo and Juliet, so borrowing from the theme of Romeo and Juliet from our last concert. And finally, we'll end with one of my absolute favorite symphonies of all time, Johannes Brahms' Symphony No. 2 in D major, which was known as his Happy Symphony, his Melodic Symphony, his Tuneful Symphony, and for those of you who are Brahms lovers, you're going to love this a lot. So that's our season. 5 wonderful concerts with pieces and artists, interesting double bass, electric guitar, electric cellists turned to classical guitar cellists, and this silver medalist Kenny Broberg from the University of Houston. So it's going to be a great season, and we hope you'll come and listen to all of our concerts, and we look forward to seeing you in the concert hall. Thanks for listening.